You're listening to Turi Writer's She Said What podcast. I'm Turi, along with Marcy Persky, who is unwilling to do anything spontaneous ever again, especially because there's a bra problem. And once again, one of her special animal adoptees is causing marital strife. So how has your week been going? Because I've been called to fill in at the last minute for several people on air, and I love doing it, but to do it at the last minute, you feel sort of catapulted. Yeah, I feel like I've been shot out of a cannon. How about you?
I'm one of those people that I used to be so spontaneous. I was ready to do anything, especially things that got me in trouble. But at this point in my life, there's no room for spontaneity. So anything that happens that's not in my brain for that moment is going to throw me all off. So I would not be able to do that. I would, but it would be awful. How about that?
I don't mind doing it. It's fun, but it just leaves me feeling shot out of a cannon. And I don't want to sound ungrateful. This is exactly what I wished for. Just enough to get my yayas out, just so that I don't explode from things that I want to say over 50,000 watts. I don't think this is 50,000 watts, but I'm trying not to look too hard.
Yeah, no, I am not good with that. If somebody calls me and says, come over, I'm like, I don't know. Should have called me like 3 days ago so that my head calendar can like get ready for this. And
It's too
I'm
funny.
not in my pajamas and my hair isn't standing up like Don King.
What if somebody calls you and wants to come to your house? Are you spontaneous then? I called my girlfriend. I was in her town, like 30 miles north of the city, and she doesn't want to go out if I call her at the last minute. But if I call her at the last minute and I want to stop by, she gets out of her pajamas, and then we sit in her driveway and watch the birds in her garden and drink wine. And I think that's fine. I feel good about that.
Now, if someone wanted to come over, I would say, okay, first of all, I want you to know it's no bra day. Actually, no bra month, possibly no bra year. So expect the girls to be hanging. And I might be in my pajamas, or I might not. There may be dog pee on the floor because the dog pees whenever someone comes in and out of the house.
You have to give how some houses where you get the little pair of Japanese slippers when you take your shoes off to come in the door. You need to give people like a little pair of hip waders for when they come in the door.
You know what? Well, the only place she pees is like right at the door. So I bought these washable puppy pad pee things.
Yes.
With like little pictures of dogs and stuff. And you're supposed to wash them like every week.
I know about the disposable ones that fill up the landfill with non-biodegradable diaper sort of material.
That's why I didn't buy those. Plus, these are like made with something. I don't know. You can't smell them. But my barefoot husband...
Wait. It's not the pads that smell. It's the pee that smells.
It doesn't, though, because the pad does something to deal with it. It has like that miracle whatever stuff that you get at the pet store. And I know you don't believe me because I can tell by your eyes, but it is true. But there was a lot of
Do you just leave that?
Night.
You just leave that there, or do you wash it?
Yeah. Oh no, I wash it.
Oh, thank God.
I wash it. I bought 5 of them.
Okay, all right.
And I wash them every 3 days.
Okay, well, the thing about that you said about, well, he just pees near the door, that's kind of ridiculous. Yeah. I mean, it's not like he just pees in some out of the way place that you're never going to go. I mean, you sort of kind of have to go.
Pees right in front of the door.
Yeah, but you have to go through the door, so.
But you have to step over the pee pad. You have to have a little bit of logic in your head to say, oh, wow, this is a pee pad. That must mean that somebody is peeing on it. Possibly not a human.
The dog pictures, I think, would be a hint in that direction, yes.
Well, I'm trying to train my husband not to step on the pee pad when he's walking around barefoot. Every time he does that, I get yelled at, and he hates the dog. And to me, it's simple. Walk around it. Don't step on it. I think we need counseling.
Well, that was a given.
I'm going to go to Psychology Today and look up pee pad counseling.
Maybe you need to build him like a ramp over the pee pad.
And then a little bridge.
Yeah, a little bridge. And then the dog can pee under the pee pad.
I want to try a behaviorist which is I don't really understand what the difference
What
is
is it with
between
you and these neurotic dogs? What is it? Are you
like
like some kind of magnet for
I am. Well,
insane neurotic
because
animals?
I feel I I I feel like I have to take the specials that no one else wants.
Don't say that around your husband, please. Don't.
He already knows.
Oh God.
If you look at every animal, except for my goats are pretty normal goats. Every other animal does have something special about them, and they thrive.
Yeah, as long as you don't mind wading through pee every time you come or go.
You can walk around it.
Of course you can if you've got a really long stride. You're the one with the little short legs.
I know.
How do you walk around it? You don't, do
I know
you?
it's
You
yes, I
wade through
do.
the.
I
What do
do
you
not
leap?
step in
Some
the
kind of
pee.
balletic leap that you do across your front doorway there? What? How do you do that?
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm very coordinated, and I put on my tutu first.
Oh
I'll have to
Lord.
take some video for you.
Speaking of clothing that you put on and take off, you're the second person who has said to me, my friend I was going to go visit said exactly the same thing. She said, I'll get out of my pajamas, but it's no bra o'clock. And apparently, this brassiere thing is like a real must flag, must notice. I mean, do you think that when I go visit my friends that I make a note of where their breasts are?
You know what? It's really weird, but I think about that all the time. And Frankie thinks I'm crazy. Like I'll throw on a big oversized hooded sweatshirt and say, "Can you tell I'm not wearing a bra?" He said, "I don't care.
Maybe he thinks
Just
it's
go to the store."
foreplay, maybe he
But
thinks. Like
well,
he'll
I mean,
check for you, maybe?
I can't hook any up with one arm, by the way.
Yeah.
And so I went and bought a bunch of like those ones that you put on over your head.
Yes.
I wear baggy clothes, but if I'm gonna sit outside like in a t-shirt, I'll warn people. And I guess that's because I was brought up in the 60s and 70s, even though there was that whole burn the bra thing.
Yeah, if you
I
were
was a-
really brought up
I
in the
was pretty
60s
young
and
for that.
70s, you should say it's my property and I will have no shirt on.
That's true too. I wear overalls a lot because I think that hides my boobs.
Just with no t-shirt under them, just the overalls?
Oh, yeah, yeah, that's me. No, I wear a t-shirt with overalls so that you can't tell that my boobs are like down around my knees.
Well, you can tell. You just feel like the overalls are dragging them down. It's a plausible explanation for where they have landed.
I'd rather think that it smushes them flat so that people can't tell.
I got news for you. You could drive a car over your chest, it wouldn't smush them flat.
Oh, don't tell my cats that. They seem to think it's like if they're cat beds. This is where they like to sleep.
On your overall.
On my chest,
Oh,
on my
yeah.
overall chest. Yes,
It's good to know that they're still useful.
they are. They are. I mean, it's like when I was in seventh grade, I was like, I looked like a boy. And somewhere between seventh and eighth grade, I grew this enormous chest, even though I was only 5 feet tall.
Well, that's why you didn't have anything for a while. It was like your body was going to get a running head start and then just leap as far as it could.
Well, my brother graciously nicknamed me Betsy Boobs,
Nice of him.
which unfortunately stuck for most of my high school years.
See,
Yeah, isn't that nice
this
of him?
was before we had anti-harassment language in our school
Hell yeah. Are you
curriculum.
kidding? My high school was one giant harassment. That's all I remember.
If you applied all the things that would get you thrown out of high school now to high school back then, you'd have a lot of empty classroom space. 2/3 of the high school that I went to on a regular basis committed egregious acts of bullying, which to this day I can remember the names of the people who did these things. Not just to me.
I wasn't a bully in high school, but I was kind of a hole. I didn't really think too much of learning or higher learning or teachers that disagreed with me or rules like smoking under the bleachers. Yeah, I was bad.
Great decisions on your part. I can see that.
Hey, and my 2.5 grade average got me into college. And I
Yeah.
do have a degree.
In parks and recreation. Yes,
No,
you do.
that's my my other one is journalism.
I didn't. Oh, you actually finished a degree in journalism? I thought it was like
Yeah,
recreation and beer
no,
tossing or bottle
I
tossing.
have both.
You have
I
both.
had a double major.
Equally important degrees, journalism and
They fit. And beer tossing.
better than your t-shirts, I guess.
Yes, yes, yes. Oh, I have exciting news.
All right.
We have a train derailment. Like, what, 13 miles from my house?
Wow, what's on that train?
Electric vehicles, Teslas. I don't know. Yes, they're all electric cars. First thing they said, there were no hazardous materials aboard this train. And then they tell you, oh, but they are all electric vehicles with lithium batteries
That
we couldn't go near
explode.
because they might explode.
Yes. Like you can't
Yes.
take those on airplanes. What makes them think that they would do well if you bang on them really hard, like with a train car, and throw them at you?
What do you mean my Tesla can't get on this airplane?
I wonder if Elon Musk is going to fly to the scene and inspect the damage.
Well, I don't know for sure that they were his. They just said electric cars and trucks, but it was like 23 cars and it's just mangled.
Wow. Anybody
Yeah,
hurt?
No,
Good.
but 2 hours earlier, they said this train was stuck for almost 3 hours in Flagstaff, blocking intersections. Why they decided to keep going with this broken train, I do not know.
Well, I read an article recently about suburban Chicago where they've been blocking intersections for miles and kids are crawling under and over
Oh,
these.
geez.
I know. It just to see the pictures stops your heart. And
Ugh.
it's a whole I don't want to get political.
We don't want to get political, but it's an infrastructure problem.
Yes, nobody wants their kid crawling through box cars or underneath
Oh,
trains to
no.
I know. I
No,
know.
but I did consider driving up a road and sneaking out in an electric car.
Yeah, but you're a grown up, and if you die, then everybody knows you made a grown up decision that took your life.
I was a moron.
Yeah, you were
I was
an
a
adult
kid trying
decision to steal a car and not some little kid trying to get to kindergarten on costume day.
I think what they need to recruit some very tiny crossing guards to stand underneath the
No,
train
don't joke. The
and
parents,
guide the
the
kids through.
parents are doing this because the trains are blocking their city for like fire crews can't get through, police can't get through. It's horrific. It's Hammond, Indiana, which is technically not
Yeah.
Illinois, or probably that wouldn't be.
No, and it's very industrial area.
Well, people still live there. So,
Yeah.
yeah, not a good thing. I don't think anybody thinks that this is a good thing.
But if you want an electric car, I
Come
know I
right,
could get
come
you
right to
one.
Marcy's house. Have you noticed that there are like 3 types of major vehicle accidents, like truck rollovers and train derailments? One is toxic and nobody wants to go near it,
Right.
unless you're one of these freaky people who wants to shoot video and get on the news.
Ugh.
Second thing is something that's spilled that's not toxic and really cool to own, in which case everybody goes and gets a bunch of it.
Electric cars.
Well, that's
Or
the
ca-
third. The third
canned
thing is
hams.
something that's really cool that you would love to go and get a bunch of, but you
Yeah.
can't.
Right.
Free stuff that you can't use. It's kind of
Well,
like
now I'm picturing the cans of gravy train. And
gravy.
this canned chocolate pudding train.
It's not a coincidence that Gravy Train is the name of a dog food.
That's true too. Do they still? I don't know if they still make that.
The idea that by pouring
Don't say
water on
that.
your dog's food,
Dog's
you
food.
created some kind of tasty.
Oh, it looks delicious to me, just like cereal. Just pretend it's Cocoa Puffs. That's all.
One time, my infant brother, like toddler brother, ate Cocoa Puffs for breakfast, and he had a pediatrician's visit. And my mother took the diaper off, and there were some Cocoa Puffs that rolled into the diaper because kids lose their. And my brother
like-
picked them up and ate them. And my mother said that the look on the pediatrician's face was like nothing she'd ever.
Like,
And she's
little-
trying to say it's just Cocoa Puffs, and the doctor's looking greener and greener.
Well, little goat poops look like Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah, but
They look exactly like Cocoa
I
Puffs.
doubt your kid is
I'm
going
not going to eat them.
stuff them in the diaper there.
No, but
drop
the
them.
dogs do eat them.
Well, I don't want to talk about what dogs eat.
No.
I have adopted one that was I learned the technical term for it, coprophagia.
Is that eating poo?
Yes, it's poop eating, yes. I had one dog who did that.
How did you cure it?
We never could. It is what the veterinarian called a self-rewarding behavior.
Okay, that's a reward that I really don't need.
It's kind of fun to gross you out for a change.
I'll tell Frankie next time he steps on the pee pad.
Could be worse.
That was self-rewarding.
Yeah, let me know how that goes over. Assuming you've come this far because you enjoy the podcast, may we recommend my book, She Said What? A Life on the Air. It's available at your neighborhood bookstore or on Amazon. And if you're feeling especially generous, please leave the podcast a good review. Thanks.